I'm going to be making another one of these. Okay, I've already made two. I'm going to make a third one. I have some oak lying on the ground. That piece over there, okay, and it will be used as this piece and this piece. I need to get 4 pieces out of it, okay, and then this countertop is going to be leftover countertop, okay. This was cut out to put a zinc somewhere, okay, and it's a green alberite or linoleum, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be my countertop. I'm going to try to knock those boards out, okay. And so this is going to be the countertop or the coffee table top. It's done a good job. It's a planer, not a finisher. It's smooth. They're both 1 inch thick, and I'm going to glue these together. my tool. Make sure I get a nice even coat. Glue. Okay. Thing with glue is finish or finished material doesn't really adhere to it, like I'm talking about stains and stuff. You can't penetrate glue, so what I do is wipe off the excess glue. Make sure you get all that off. And now this up. I'm using the table set off as a reference since it's flat, or the flattest thing I've got in the shop. Right? Get me a rag. Wipe off the excess glue. That'll make my job a little bit easier later on. And now, I'm try to find some flat stock. And I'm going to try to make sure these things glue together at the proper height. Do this by clamping down. So these are the prints with the dimensions. I'm going to do the sides here. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. They gotta be they gotta be 27 1/4 by 3 1/2 by 1 1/4 inches. I don't know if I got that wrong. So yeah, I think it is 1.25 inches. It is 1.25 inches, just overdrew it. So if I add 3.5 and 1.25 inches, that's 4 3/4. So I need 4 boards of 4 1/4. Okay, let's see if I can't find that. This is what I had actually put aside for this purpose. Once again, it's 5/4, which is 1.25 inches. It gives you 1/4 inch for machining. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I needed 27 inches, which I have it no problem. And I needed to get 4 3/4, which is 9. I got 9 inches. 4 3/4. 10. If I can squeeze 10, I got 2 pieces out of this. It's on the borderline. I'm going to edge off both sides, and maybe I can make 1 coffee table per board. What else is in there? Is it good both sides? I hope that cleans up. I'm going to run it through the planer. Nope. Oh, I probably can muster it out of all of these boards. I'm going to try cleaning off the back sides first. See what they look like. I got crickets! Full of crickets! Oh, little jumper there, eh? So, if you can see that properly, look in the corner. This isn't a straight edge, right? And if I was going to try to make a straight reference point on this board to run it in a table saw, this would take forever in the jointer. So I'm just going to draw out a line, okay, and I'm going to use the bandsaw, which is much quicker to do that. So I've got a level which is pretty straight. So now, let's make a smooth surface and see what's under there. See if I know stain's going to hide most of the blemishes and the defects. The better the surface, There's not here, not here, and some discoloration here. So I'm going to make that the inside, and what you're going to see from the outside of the coffee table. I'll try to get my 3.5 here to 1.25 here. I'll get another board probably here. I should be able to get at least 3 boards out of it. What I did was rough it down to a 1 1/16, so I still have a 1/16 of an inch material to remove in the finishing process. So these are the legs for the 2 coffee tables. That's 1 coffee table, that's the second one. It turned out pretty nice. Of course there's going to be a red stain on it. This is going to be the underside. But I don't know if you can see that from there. There's a little bow in there. I'm not quite sure yet how I'm going to remove that. I don't have a big planer that can do this, or a sander. This is cedar. This is cedar wood I cleaned up. I think this is going to be the bottom table and the supporting members for the top. The coloring's nice. I might just put linseed oil on that and leave that natural. It'll give it a wet look. In contrast to maple, the cedar's a little whiter. This is going to be stained Sedona red from Minwax. Sedona red. Looks like red clay from the deserts. It's the rough cedar. These were sort of like leftovers, and I decided to actually saw these up, and I got bored out of them. See, that's the bark from the cedar, and I just need pieces, right? Small pieces. I can get it out of this, otherwise it would be scrapped. So I'm going to try to mill these like 7/8, and whatever I'm going to make the bottom board with has to be 1 inch thick material to match the countertop, which is 1 inch maple. Set the planer to the thickest portion. I have 1 3/8 here. I'll bring it down to 1 1/4. Mill that. So these are the templates. Okay, I've marked down what they are. Okay, and the templates over here state, I don't know if you can see that right. Okay, so 2 3/4, 2 3 3.5 by 12.5, right? These squares are 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, so that permitted me to draw the curve on which this is based on. And what I did was go half and then just cut one side so I would have a symmetrical shape. Have symmetry. And the same here, like 3.5, 2 3/4 and 3.5. So if you look at diagram over here, it seems to me that the 2 3/4 would be on the bottom and the 3.5 would be on top, right? So that's the long pieces, same thing, and the short. Okay, that's what I've based these patterns on. Okay, and now what I'm doing is trying to get 3.5 out of this. Even if I cut into the bark, if I flip it over and make this my good side, I can sort of maximize from the scrap wood what I need. Okay, but it won't look like scrap once it's done. Okay, so I've already pre-cut these pieces. Those will be the shorts, these will be the long, and I'll get some more pictures when it's done. Well, I was lucky. Out of everything, I dug through the leftovers again, and I was able to find some pieces that could be used. And this is one table, and that's the second table. You can't have one end table without the other, or you sell them separately and use it for a telephone stand or maybe a laptop stand. These are not the top part of the coffee tables, but the bottom parts. They're made out of cedar, and they're not breadboarded. They're 2 pieces of wood glued together, 2 pieces of board. It's around 12 inch by 14, something like that. If I come over here and look at the measurements, it is 12.5 by 11.25. Sure. I put paper so glue doesn't get everywhere. Bit of hardwood. I clamped it down so I wouldn't compress the wood any, but looks like it did just the same. I just finished sanding these down. Some of the material, since cedar's a softwood, you really need super sharp tools, and it doesn't take much for splinters to break off and stuff. See, like this, if I were to sand this down to try to make it smooth, I'd probably have to take off somewhere like a 1/16 of an inch, you know. And oh, not gonna play with that too much. I might be able to seal that in there. Anyways, this is gonna be going here. So this is what it looks like with the two small pieces. This is one side, right? These were maple and those are cedar. The plans don't account for a different thickness of materials, but I did. And the reason is, furniture is supposed to be painted individual pieces, right? Like this should be all painted and whatever you want to do with it before you assemble it. And once you assemble it, this here doesn't let you see. Let's say this is flush and I stain that. Well, if ever there's a gap or whatever, you'll see it. But if you recess it like that and then just with screws you tighten it up, okay, like I'm not going to use any glue on this, it's all going to be screwed together, and every individual piece is going to get a coat of polyurethane on it. I'm going to do that before I assemble it. I'm going to pre-assemble it, then take it apart, paint it, and then put it back together. That I'm using the drill press to make the holes to accept the 3/8 rods. Okay, this is the top piece. Okay, and I'm using a wood bit, 3/8, and I've set the stop, right? So this is the depth that these are being drilled to. These are the bottom plates, okay, post, 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 and these go like this, the other ones, but these ones go on top, over here, like this, so they line up. I don't know if you can see that, they line up. Okay, here what I'm doing is getting my pocket jig ready and adjusting the depth. As you can tell, that's how much material that's going to be left for that screw to anchor to. Okay. It's about 1/2 inch of material, and the angle it's coming at, I should clear the tip, oh, I should say by 1/4 inch. Now if I wanted to make that flush, the angle's all wrong. This jig probably does better with a 1 inch thick material, but since my outer board here is thicker, the screw won't come out this side when I drive it in, so it's okay for that. But the angle matters. The angle matters. If you're doing 3/4, you want 15 degrees. If you're doing like 1 inch, you can go up to 20 degrees without letting the screw come out the other side, right? But the jigs are made at 15 normally, so they can accommodate a larger number of thicknesses of wood. Okay. This is the pre-finished stage. Now I got to do a little bit of sanding on this thing, on both of them actually, and it's not too bad right now there. Just the main pieces here I have to sand down, and I got to decide, got to fix this rocking motion. See, I think all I have to do is actually take a little bit off of this edge here. It seems to be rocking right there. And I've got to fasten these underneath here. The homemade jig I made, pocket jig, won't permit me to actually just put some pockets up here and screw it in. I'm going to have to make a wedge and screw it in the top and then screw it in the side. That is next, right after I fix that rocking. I'm just going to take the belt sander to this corner a little bit at a time, right? And I got the idea to actually just poke them into this piece of wood here. Okay, these have been stained. I'm going to give them a second coat. All woodwork should be roughed up probably with 120, and then 180, and then 220 for final. But final should be going with the grain. Okay, and I did the other top there and all the legs, and the rest is going to be finished with urethane naturally. So I'm going to be giving a second coat, and what I used, I'm not advertising, but they're the only ones who make this kind of color, the Sedona red, which I really like, and it's from Minwax, and that's what I'm using. The brush you use should be for oil paints, right? You shouldn't be using latex brushes because they won't clean up. And you use mineral spirits to actually clean the brush, right? That's what I'm doing. There's a fish line going down, a 20-pound fish line, holding on to the little pieces, right? Okay, so, and in keeping with the Minwax tradition, fast drying polyurethane